All right, so for the next recipe, I mean, we can't forget dessert. And again, this is the time of year where we tend to make apple pies or pear or any type of fruit that is in season. So, on that note, we're going to incorporate some of those fruits again that are on that choose list. So, again, with any type of fruit, you do want to make sure that you are removing any skin or seeds. And you can have fruit, okay? And also vegetables, okay? So we went through a little bit about those different ones that are on the choose list, but 4 servings of either vegetable or fruit, so 4 servings of fruit, 4 servings of vegetable is okay throughout the day. Now, to some, this might seem a lot, to some, it might seem a little, but just thinking of what does a serving size look like? Well, it's half a cup. So if my fist is about 1 cup, so it's half of that. You might want to measure that out. Okay, so it's basically 2 fists of fruit, 2 fists of vegetables throughout my day. Okay, so again, you're getting what you need. And you want to peel that fresh fruit. So having like apricots or apples, bananas, pear, either the Bosch or the Barlette, peaches, nectarines. You could have melons, mangoes, plums, oranges without that membrane. Okay, but all the other ones I mentioned before, like apples and pears, more than fine, just remove it. And also just on that note, like canned peaches, mandarins, orange, applesauce, these are already cooked and have removed those membranes and the skins. So those are also okay to eat. Things that you want to stay away from are dried fruits. So like dates, prunes, raisins, figs, coconut, any type of pineapple or kiwi, right? Kiwis have those little seeds. Pineapples quite stringy. Grapes, cherries, blackberries, any type of berry because of the seeds inside. Avocado, I know that's one that we tend to really love these days, but it is quite fibrous. So you might want to stay away from that one. So yeah, Jer, show us what you got. I know that we've used something with pears, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be making this really kind of tasty poached pear dessert. Okay, really simple, and again, utilizing and highlighting some of those orchard fruits in season right now. And what we want to do to prep those in advance is peel them, right? Because we want to remove the skins. Okay, so peel them and then cut them in half and remove the cores. Okay, so like I did here, and after you've peeled it and halved it, I'll show you how to remove the seeds in the middle. So the easiest way, you can use a paring knife, or I find if you just use a small little teaspoon and then sort of dig in to where the seeds are and just kind of carve it out. Okay, so you can see how I remove the skins or the seeds right there. Okay, and then you have the pear ready to go. Now, as you're working through your pears, and this is just a good rule of thumb, even if you're working with apples or any of those sort of white fleshed fruit, they will discolor and oxidize pretty quickly and start to turn brown. So just keep a sort of cold or a bowl of cold water set aside, and you can even put a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice in there for acidity, and then keep the pears or the apples just submerged while you're working through them. That way it prevents them from discoloring and sort of keep that color. Okay, so we have these beautiful pears, and we're going to poach them you can poach them simply in, honey water or something, but we're going to spice it up. Okay, we're going to add some really, really tasty spices, and that was actually inspired by the chai masala tea, okay, which has all these amazing aromatic spices. And I figured, let's use those spices, and we can poach our pears in a sort of simmering, flavorful liquid infused with these spices. Okay, so what I'm using here is a little bit of cinnamon bark or cinnamon stick, some star anise here, which has this like really sort of vibrant licorice flavor, really, really good. Some black peppercorns, okay? It's gonna give it this nice sort of peppery flavor. Some cardamom pods, okay, some green cardamom pods. A couple cloves here, and a little piece of ginger, okay? So you can see these like really nice sort of aromatic, warming spices, and we're gonna put that into our pot to sort of toast up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna put it into our pot, and we're gonna turn that on over like medium heat, just until you start to smell the aromas from the spices here, okay? And give it a shake every once in a while. We just want to sort of wake them up, okay? They're whole spices, so they're kind of in a dormant state. We just want to wake them up. We don't want to burn them. And once you start to get that aroma...
So there's no oil, Jer.
Sorry? No oil.
No oil, yeah, okay.
No oil, just the spices, just to toast them up, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and add all of our cut pears to there. Actually, we're going to add some liquid first. So we're going to cover them with some water. Okay, and then add our pears. And we're going to bring this to a simmer. Okay, we just want to gently, very, very gently simmer these pears for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max, just until they're nice and tender, but they're not like mushy and falling apart.
Yeah.
Now you can add honey to that as well, just to sweeten it up. Also, Steph, one more thing. If you don't have those spices, or if it's going to be a bit of a hassle to go find all those spices, you can also use like a caffeine-free chai tea bag. And just put two of those tea bags in there, let it infuse the liquid, and then throw your fruit inside.
Awesome. Yeah, and I just wanted to add, you know, for some people who really love smoothies, because you're blending the fruit or even the vegetables sometimes, you're making it really, really small, but there's still fiber in there. Okay, and remember, too much fiber will increase the size of your poo, which may cause obstructions. So, you know, you do want to make sure that you are limiting the amount. And remember, it's 4 servings of vegetable and 4 servings of fruit per day. And a serving is about a half a cup. So just something to keep in mind. If you are making a smoothie, you want to choose those foods from the choose list. You can find this resource that I'm talking about on the UHN website and put in low fiber diet for partial bowel obstruction. That will give you a kind of a hands-on list for you to look at. Okay, so I'm not saying not to have smoothies, but you do want to make sure that you are sticking to that fiber amount. And the other thing is that obviously vegetables and fruit are giving us lots of minerals and vitamins. So if you're not able to eat enough, then you might want to talk to your doctor or your dietitian because you might need to take a multivitamin to get all the nutrients for your body. So again, just something to consider if you are wondering that.
Okay, so your pears are poaching away. You got about 15, 20 minutes. This part only takes about a minute. So you'll have a lot of extra time to kind of get some other things done. What we're going to do is we're going to serve it with this really sort of flavorful ricotta cheese, okay? To even add a little bit of protein to the dessert, which is fine, right? So this is just plain ricotta cheese. You can find this, again, most grocery stores will have it. You can definitely use yogurt in this case as well. And what we're doing is just add a little bit of honey just to sweeten it up. We'll mix it through. And we're going to add a little bit of vanilla as well. So typically you would see ricotta cheese maybe as a filling in like ravioli or more in a savory setting, but it actually works really, really well as a sweet setting, like in this case. Okay, like you would think cheesecake, I mean, there's a dessert with cheese. Oh, there's also ricotta cakes. And in this case, we're going to use it as the base for our pears. So we have this really, really nice sort of creamy, flavorful ricotta. Okay, and the pears, I've done some in advance. So we'll do a little swap out. All right, lost my spoon, it's okay. All right, so here is our pears that we're poaching, again, for about 15, maybe 20 minutes max, okay? And the way you can tell is you just take a knife, take like a paring knife, and stick it into the pear. And if it comes out easily, then it's done. It's not falling apart, like it's not mushy if I press up against it, but it's nice and tender, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so now, to plate this up, we'll take some of that ricotta cheese. Bottom, and this is where you can kind of get a little fancy if you want. I mean, you can just serve it all up in a bowl, I guess. And then we'll take those super flavored, those like spice infused now pears. And especially now, you're gonna get all those like warming spice flavors from the cinnamon and the ginger and the star anise. Beautiful, just like that. Yeah, we'll do 3. 3 is good. And if you want to add a little bit of mint on top, or I mean, even some, whatever you want, really. But there we go.
So beautiful.
Spice.
What a great,
Ricotta.
yeah, what a great recipe to serve for the holidays that are coming up.